มาจึกกระนั้นปันสองครัวจิตปรัชญาปรัชญาสามัคคีกลมนันเนียสองครัวบอมรากาเปียกัมพูชีไม่ตรงรบเนียเพียมเพียสันเสรีไอ้กระเรียนโบนาเพียมอาทัมปไตยไม่ประสริปโดประดันไทยเรียสามันอ้อยบอตึงเฉลียงเปลี่ยนหมกตรวจตราสมบัติโดนตาทนเทียนเจียบขมาย
Welcome and thank you for joining our show. Our show is part of the CNRP America TV show. Our show is called Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. Again, thank you for being here today. My name is Linda Wu. Today is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. Please join me to support ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Together we fight to end impunity. Together we hold Hun Sen responsible for the continued killing and hurting Cambodian. Please help to sign our petitions ending impunity for justice in Cambodia at change.org. Please watch a short clip by Her Excellency Musaku explaining further regarding ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Please help to support our petitions.
Between 1975 and 1979, the green rice fields of Cambodia became the killing fields of Cambodia. Over 2 million lives were lost, including the lives of my own parents and many of my relatives. The Khmer Rouge wanted a society that is equal according to them. We still live and we are haunted with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge, which is the culture of impunity that continues to exist in Cambodia today. It is for this reason that we have started a campaign, worldwide campaign, a campaign to end impunity in Cambodia by seeking justice for cases, for the executions, for the killings that are organized, that are backed by the state. Among those cases of state-backed killings are the killings of Chivichir, a very famous trade union leader, Bisep Pilaka, a ballet dancer, of Kemley, an independent analyst, of Chutvuti, a well-known environmentalist, of Venerable Sonthara, who was advocating for the monks to have the right to vote, including workers who demanded fair wages. The campaign will also advocate for governments that are members of the United Nations to put pressure on the government of Cambodia to conduct independent investigations by using universal tools such as the UN Protocol for Independent Investigation. The campaign will also advocate for governments that believe and want to protect universal human rights to impose sanctions on the leaders of the government of Cambodia who are implicated in these state-backed extrajudicial killings. We ask you to be with us, to support us, to be part of a campaign to end the culture of impunity in Cambodia and to find justice for those who have been waiting for justice for their loved ones killed by the state. There cannot be real peace unless there is justice. There cannot be justice unless there is independent investigation. And then to take those cases to an independent justice system. Join us by signing on this petition. Thank you.
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
Please help to support our petitions at change.org, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Please help to sign, help to share, and help to pass it around because we need at least 500,000 signature, and we are barely make it a little over 50,000 signature. Please help to support our petitions. Thank you. Before I start, let me properly greet my audience. ជាដំបូងខ្ញុំប្រកាសណាសូមក្រាបថ្វាយបង្គំព្រះសង្ឃទាំងអស់ជាទីគោរពចា៎នាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះ Linda U នាងខ្ញុំសូមជម្រាបសួរជនរួមជាតិទាំងអស់ចា៎នាងខ្ញុំសូមស្វាគមន៍និងសូមអរគុណចំពោះការតាមដានទស្សនាកម្មវិធីថ្ងៃនេះសំឡេងយុវជនខ្មែរដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌ជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសនេះជាកម្មវិធីរបស់គណៈបក្សសង្គ្រោះជាតិអាមេរិកនាងខ្ញុំចង់បញ្ជាក់ថាកម្មវិធីជារៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃកម្មវិធីថ្ងៃនេះនឹងជារៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃអង្គារគឺជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសនាងខ្ញុំសូមទោសដែលមិនបាននិយាយជាភាសាខ្មែរថ្ងៃនេះយើងនិយាយភាសាអង់គ្លេសពីព្រោះយើងចង់ឲ្យយុវជនជំនាន់ក្រោយនិងជនបរទេសអាចយល់ពីបញ្ហានិងស្ថានភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាចាក៏ប៉ុន្តែសូមរងចាំទស្សនាកម្មវិធីរបស់គណៈបក្សសង្គ្រោះជាតិអាមេរិកជារៀងរាល់ថ្ងៃពុធដល់ថ្ងៃច័ន្ទនៅម៉ោងដដែលចា Thank you everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I actually have two guests today. Let me welcome both guests before I start the show. Let me bring one of my new guests. She is I'm very excited that she's here today. Her name is Kathy Dow. She is the CNRPA supporter from Calgary, Canada. Thank you for joining us, Kathy.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Definitely. So my name is Kathy Dow. I'm 19 years old. I am an MOA. So an MOA is a medical office administration. So I work in a doctor's clinic. And that's where I am currently at. I graduated last year in October. So I have a full-time job as an MOA.
Good job. Thank you for being here today. Let me introduce my second guest. Let me bring him out.
បាទជម្រាបសួរបាទដំបូងខ្ញុំសូមគោរពខ្ញុំប្រកាសណាសូមគោរពព្រះថេរានុថេរៈគ្រប់ព្រះអង្គនិងជនរួមជាតិខ្មែរជុំវិញពិភពលោកបាទ My name is Sonthara from Long Beach, California, and now let me say hi to our audience around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sonthara. Thank you for being here. And Kathy, since you are in Canada and Canada would not allow American to go into Canada because of COVID-19, can you let us know how the situation in Canada?
Yeah, so right now in Canada, there has been a little up and down with the COVID. However, it's not intentionally big. I know that soon our Prime Minister Trudeau, he's going to add a quarantine hotel for outside travelers to come in quarantine for 14 days. I just don't know when that's impacting it yet. I just know that like he's starting to make up the quarantine hotel. So yeah, so that's a big one. Sorry, that's a big one.
No problem.
And then in Calgary, it's not as bad, but it is quite high still. However, we're handling the situation pretty good. Everybody's wearing masks and sanitizing, staying home when they're supposed to. So, yeah, that's how we're controlling our COVID situation here.
Do you guys have lockdown? Like, do you guys have, you're not supposed to go out a certain time or go
like
places?
We just finished our lockdown about a month ago, actually. And so we're just getting into the routine of having it back to normal. But if the cases are raised up again, we're going to probably have another lockdown sometime, probably this year again.
Does the kid go to school, or do they online schooling in Canada?
They have two options actually. If they signed up for online, that means they take online classes. But if they signed up for in school, then they would have to go into the school instead of online.
Also, school is like physically operating, open and operate and all that.
Yes.
Yes, my town, they just announced that the kid gonna go back next week. But I mean, they've been off school since last March, so this is gonna be like the first time they've been physically at the school. Also, they only do half of the class. So basically they set half of the student to the morning session and the other half to the afternoon session. And it's still gonna be 6 feet apart, gonna be, mask and face shield, hand sanitizer. So we'll see. The rate of COVID rate over here is going down, but it's not down fast enough like we want it to be. How can Canadian start taking vaccine yet?
I've heard that. Oh, sorry. I heard that some Canadians have taken some vaccines. I've known a coworker who works in a hospital. Her father just had the vaccine of COVID. So I know there's some employments of the vaccine in Canada.
Oh, okay. Yes, my parents got their first shot already. They are waiting for their second shot maybe next week. So over here, anyone in the medical field or anybody in over 65, they can make an appointment and to get the vaccine. So it looked promising. We do want to have people take vaccine, and also to help bring it down, because it's been a whole year, and the impact is really it's a very sad situation all around.
Right. Yeah, I agree. The situation with the COVID around the world is just so chaotic, and everybody's not like enjoying it how it used to be. Ever since with the lockdown and like COVID happening, it's just not the same anymore. People are just more cautious and staying home and all that, and people just want to be cautious with themselves. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Kathy. Let me bring Mr. Sonthara and see if he can help us to understand in Long Beach. How you doing in Long Beach with COVID situation, Mr. Sonthara?
Yeah, since we have the same, I have the same, place. Like we have the same in our LA County, right? So nothing different much. Some restaurant, not allowed to, people to dive in at all. So some part of it, they have kind of dive in, but at the patios, not inside the restaurant at all. And I heard some old people, they have appointments of vaccines, and some workers at the airport right now, are called back to work, and I hope a lot change in next week, I think.
Yes, I don't think my parents would appreciate you calling them old for getting vaccine. They're over 65, but I don't think they would appreciate that.
not the same, right? Not the same as Sufarm, the Chinese vaccine cannot use by for the old people. But in here we start from the old people first, right?
Exactly. Thank you both guys for sharing your experience. Since we're talking about COVID-19, have you heard the COVID-19 in Cambodia this last week? Kathy, did you hear anything? Have you watched the news regarding like another COVID spread right now?
I've heard a little about it, but I haven't heard it a lot. Like I seen it. I tried to click on it, but it was all in Khmer, and I felt so ashamed not to know our Khmer language.
It's okay. Mr. Sonthara, can you share? Have you heard about the spread? I think at Gothic recently. I guess.
I don't know, the place at all. But all I know, like a 32 new cases found recently. But you know, it's a ridiculous that they allow the Chinese people go in and out without, you know, kind of 14-day quarantine, and they do only for the, you know, positions, something like that. So I don't know what's wrong with the Cambodian right now.
Yes, only over 30 cases, and I guess school is shut down again. A lot of places close. I think maybe in the next 14 days, if somebody, if any international community offer the monetary help to the Hun Sen regime, probably it's open back again. But now I think from what I read, I think school and I believe wedding and all that ceremony are closed down to help stop the spread of COVID-19. So that's what situations in Cambodia.
I heard that in the same time, U.S. you know try to help Cambodian by sending the U.S. vaccines, but Hun Sen, you know, deny. He want to convert it, that vaccine to the financial assistance.
Monetary money,
Yeah,
money talk.
So the money talk is better than, you know, he cannot convert himself itself into the money. If the U.S. can give the financial assistance, is the way better for, you know, the corruption.
Exactly. Okay, let us talk about the hot topic right now. Our topic today is Repression Tool, National Internet Gateway. We would sometimes, when we say like NIG, then we would mean that National Internet Gateway. Last summer, in July 2020, measure titled Establishment of the National Internet Gateway. Last summer, it was a proposal. So it established basically the National Internet Gateway will control all internet operations in the country, meaning it's draw concern from many people, many human rights activists, many human rights groups and organizations. Last Tuesday, February 16, Hun Sen, who is the Prime Minister of Cambodia, signed into order to set up National Internet Gateway, NIG, in Cambodia. He said NIG would help to basically tax collection, protect national security, and ensure social order. With this, many people fear that it will increase online surveillance and censorship, and the internet, which is against rights to privacy. So basically, more than 60 organizations, including Human Rights Watch, continue to demand that Hun Sen regime immediately revoke and not carry out like the measures. What they say is the gateway will allow authority to prevent and disconnect all network connections that affect national income, security, social order, moral, social. Basically, according to the Hun Sen regime, it's good for the country. It helps the national income. It helps social security. It helps moral and culture, tradition and custom. Basically, in short, is National Internet Gateway will regulate all online traffic in the interest of protecting national security and maintaining social order. NIG will control and monitor activity in Cambodia. Basically, that's in short. Let me also give you some number. Cambodia has 16.5 million people. According to the Hun Sen regime, internet subscriptions in Cambodia is basically 20.3 million that subscribe to the internet. Even though we only have 16.5, that means household subscribe to the internet, and also business house. That's why it's like over 20.3. The most Facebook is the most popular social media platform in Cambodia, with more than 10 million users. Okay, so I'm gonna give the number. I went to two of the most popular Facebook account. Hun San, his Facebook as of today, he has 13.5 million Facebook followers. Our acting president, Sam Rang Si, as of today, have 5.05 million Facebook followers. So, CNRP is the opposition party. Hun Sen is the regime, which won basically 100% of the vote in 2017-2018 election. Since I'm saying about giving you the number on what the Facebook, since Facebook is so popular, and Hun Sen have 3 more the follower than Mr. Sam Rang Si, why does Hun Sen so scared of and have tried to control this internet? Mr. Sonthara, can you help us to explain if he has 13.5 million followers? Why do he care so much?
You know, as no, echo.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, as long as you know, the terrorships hate the most like democracy. The democracy let the people, allow the people to get information from the outside world, how they develop, but the dictatorship in different way. They hate the media. They love to control and monitor all kind of medias, and so you know what happened? They can spread their lies and weaken the democracy, or they can repress the oppositions. That's the way the dictatorship hates the most in the world.
But he has over 13.5 million Facebook users.
Sometimes
like 3 times.
But sometimes the user, one person can create too many accounts and to get into his account and click the like and share. Nothing, not the real one. So that's why he's scared about that. As the new elections in the 2018, you see the region in Phnom Penh, he lost their place, and his own hometown Kampong Cham, he lost their place. That's why he know he cannot he know that the people in Cambodia not don't like to support him in the elections at all.
Thank you. Basically, the person who had the most Facebook user follower, afraid of the 5.05 million follower by Mr. Sam Rang Si. Let me ask Kathy a question. How will national network infringe on Cambodian privacy? How, if we, for example, next year in 2022, this up and running, how does that violate Cambodian privacy?
For me, what I think with the NIG that's coming in 2022, I think he will just take our rights away. Facebook is our main source to post for the CNRP, and yet if he takes that away, he gets to monitorize what is on the content. So if we have the NIG, it's just going to only be on one side. There's no other side that we can support, and if we don't support the other side, the regime is going to keep on going, and we don't want that to happen.
Thank you, Kathy. Let me bring Mr. Sonthara back. Can you help? Why would having an NIG violate the Cambodian privacy?
in my view, when the government can control all the online traffic, such as your voice, data, video, and multimedia. So they can manipulate all the kind of data, by as I told you, they oppress the opposition. Then people cannot do business because all the privacy, are exposed, cannot be high anymore. So business cannot a fair competition, no more free trade. And if if a government love kind of a tobacco company, they gotta support, give all the information from the other, the other company, sell the same product or goods to the tobacco. So what happened? All the privacy from the company or individual privacy are exposed, right?
Thank you. Basically, normal citizen like me, I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing online, where I'm going, where I bank, where I go grocery shopping, where I buy my stuff. That's just a normal activity I do. But if I were to be, if I'm going to be in Cambodia in 2022, then I would be a little bit worried what I do. If I log on to my, my banking, then they would know that this is what I'm doing. Basically, the government has control. Whatever I post on Facebook, whatever anybody posts on Facebook will be, they would say that's against the law. They have control. They can shut down the basically the control of information. Even though right now they not allow certain media certain website to be on, certain media to be on, and even though they're doing that right now, and that's not without the national network, so it's not right now they're doing that. So what happened next year when it's actually this thing going full blown, like full force, it will be controlling. It will controlling what people can say, what people can do, what a company can do, how they operate their business. So that's what one of the concern for our international viewer that does not know Cambodia. Does ordinary Cambodian have freedom to use internet right now? Kathy, can you help to elaborate? Do they have freedom?
I want to say yes. Right now. Sorry, I hear myself echoing.
Oh, you okay? I can hear you. Yes.
With ordinary people in Cambodia, with the freedom they have, I think it should be implied because it's for themselves, right? And if they're not talking for themselves, who are they going to talk for? Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Let me see. Let me try. Basically, online. Not lately, since 2019, Cambodian can be prosecuted for posting online, for supporting CNRP online, because many authority have arrested CNRP councillor members. Basically, over 30 people are still in jail in 2019 for supporting Mr. Samrangsi, for showing support online for him to return home in 2019. And many people now, the court system is still holding them in jail for that. Also, I'm going to give a little example. In 2019, there's a young activist. When I read about this, I not read about this this topic, this national internet gateway topic. It came to mind is there's a young activist. His name is Kong Raya, he was arrested and be in jail for wearing Dr. Kamlay t-shirts. So that's without Cambodia has a constitution that you are protected under the law for freedom of speech, but at the same time, he got arrested for wearing Dr. Kamlay t-shirt. And at another instance is there's a lady, I think her name is Nung Sopat. She was arrested for basically the same thing, voicing her opinion, supporting Mr. Sam Rainsy returning home. There's another user, the internet user, continue to be arrested for the support, and also they can arrest you for making fun of the king as well. I believe there's many people that not many people that some instant I believe there's a lady or gentleman got arrested for that, and that is not even under the national internet gateway yet. This is just people, just a constant regime monitoring normal citizen. Let me see. Mr. Sonthara, can you hear me okay?
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. Now.
Can you help to describe this normal citizen, regular citizen? Do they have they have freedom to be on the internet?
No, since the online are controlled by the government. Let me share my experience in the killing fields. Every night when we come back from work, the authorities, civilians try to get information from you guys by staying under your the house and and listening to what you guys talking to each other at night, and then they take all the information and to manipulate it, and then they talk in the next meeting of the like they have every week meeting, something like that. They take all the information to talk or to in the meeting. So this is not different from the new technology, and when they control the NIG, they can control everything online. Let me explain to our audience. They might don't understand what is NIG mean. NIG is a free pie of electronic communication in networking. By connecting computer from computer one computer to the computer. Let me have my methodology. The road connect from Thailand to Phnom Penh. How can you go to from Thailand or Poipet to Phnom Penh? They use a freeway national highway 5, right? But what happened when the government tried to put many checkpoints on the freeway? So what happened? And they try to get information all from that and manipulate to accuse anyone. See, so what happened for the? Do you have your own privacy? No, not at all. See. The same something happened in the Khmer Rouge too. The Khmer Rouge used a kind of authority surveillance to get information from individuals, and right now they do the same way from the internet, from the online too. Soon or later you will see what happened, because the dictatorship hate the media. Without media, they can spread their liars or weaken the democracy.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Sonthara. Yes, he actually basically I see like blocking the informations from coming in mostly. All the new medias inside the country, nobody listened to it. So basically, right now, even though with his 14 million soon follower on Facebook, those are informations internally that they receive. The informations that coming in that people actually listen is coming from the outside in to the inside. It's like, I guess the term in Cambodia would be like, if you are inside a bowl, you would know what's going on. So in order to know what's going on, Facebook, and they wouldn't be able to freely go on Facebook. I mean, you can go on Facebook, you can go on his website, Facebook, where it tells you it's very beautiful today. The development in Sihanoukville, where a lot of building and there's no trees, and that is so beautiful on this development. And just I guess that's what I think too. I went on his webpage today to count on how many friends or how many followers he has, and he was his video showed the development in Sihanoukville. Very nice video, very nice putting together, but at the same time there's a lot of building, there's a lot of building. And where is the beautiful? I don't see any mentions of tree, I don't see any mentions of the environmental impact. They get road constructions, they have building constructions, but those things is going to be break, and those things need to be repaired later on. And I didn't see any trees, so hopefully, I mean, they did cut down the tree to make development, so I don't know how many more years we can see more beautiful tree. And that's what the information's on his website, on his Facebook, on the Cambodia website, on Cambodia TV. It's supporting the regime. There's no opposition party. There's no there's no voice. You cannot be talking. You cannot be making any going against the regime. You have anything to add, Mr. Sonthara? Regarding privacy? Privacy?
Regarding privacy? I think nothing high. Nothing high right now.
I think I covered the reason. I mean, there's no privacy regarding regular citizen. That there's nothing. Got arrested for wearing certain T-shirt. Get arrested for making statement online. Get arrested for making statement online supporting Mr. Sam Rainsy returning home. And currently, there's many people. This is 2021, still in jail for supporting Mr. Sam Rainsy returning home in 2019. So that is a private. This is not even the system is not on yet. The system will be on according to Hun Sen himself. What I read was it's going to be ready in February of 2022. It just happened. In 2022, it's going to have a communal elections, and also in 2023, it's going to have the national elections. It just in time that he controlling the new informations. Let me ask Mr. Sonthara, on the elections, any impact on the elections for having this system up and running?
Yes, a lot impact on the election. The 2023 elections. Because they know the CNRP opposition use the use the internet, or like such as like application like Facebook, Twitter, or Yahoo to communicate with the people inside the Cambodia. And plus the people can get Cambodian people can get all information from the outside world. That the dictatorship hate the most. So all they do, they don't want their own people know anything at all. All they do elect go to the poll and elect just mark on their own party and no opposition at all. And what happened? They use the television show for their own campaign. How about the opposition? They have no TV station at all, and they block in you know, like before I heard like the last 10 years, something like that, the CNRP apply for their own station, and they reject. They said, you know what they said? No more freaking for the CNRP at all. But when the other party, like a small party, they ask for it, they give like the new radio station and something like that. So not fair. They try to block, not allow to allow the people, you know, to support the oppositions at all. That's the way they prepare the new degree targeting the opposition in the year of 2022 before the election, like 1 year election.
Thank you, Mr. Sonthara. Kathy, you probably too young to even know there's a election in 2017 or 2018, but in 2023 there's going to be basically 2022 is going to be communal elections, and also 2023 there's a national elections. This is in line with last year they proposed this. This year he signed to start working on this NIG, and the completion date is next year's of 2022. Do you feel any impact on why they rushing into completing this setup before the election?
Yeah, I think this is the perfect timing for Hun Sen to get more power, to have more regime, to like control everybody, demonetizing their internet use, their basically everything to me. I just find it so crazy for this topic. It's just my goodness. But yeah, it just makes me feel, I can't even describe it. It just makes me feel horrible because he is making his secret way, like the 2022 NIG, that was his way to like get rid of the opposition party. It's a way to only have a one-way party. And if we do that, it's going to be a communist country. And I don't want Cambodia to be a communist.
Thank you, Kathy. Yes. The timeline, it's not an accident. It's not an accident that they're talking about this. They proposed this, and we heard about it. We heard about it this week, since last week, and now we heard about it. We know they signed. He signed into it for setting it up, but the proposal was started in summer of last year, and it's not an accident that they proposed last year. And when they in America, when you propose something, people put their input, and people did put their input. People did encourage that they're not going through with this proposal, but instead he signed into law last week. He signed into setting it up last week. So it's not coincident, and how a projection date of finishing it February of 2022, which is coincidentally election is coming. So
yeah, I think that Hun Sen is doing this on purpose to get more power and stay in power.
Thank you. And the reason I brought up on how many Facebook he have his follower compared to Mr. Samrangsi follower of 5.05 million, where Hun Sen is almost 14 million. Hun Sen is scared. Hun Sen is scared of the shadow. 5.5 million compared to 14 million, that's like he has like 3 times the follower, 3 times that the information that he has on his Facebook should be enough to encourage his voter, but instead because of his lying or his systematic of lying or not telling the truth, even though 13.5 or 14 million, he's still afraid of the shadow of 5.05 million that Mr. Samrangsi have like a true follower. Mr. Sonthara, have you been to Hun Sen Facebook?
No, I've never get into that at all. Because, I don't want to get like the fake information, or I read like the Western medias. That's all I need. but why I want to put myself in that situation? Like let me talk about in the democratic way. Before any bill, have been passed, they got to set up as a prop, right? And then they let the people vote for it. They listen to the people, and then they try to, when the bill passed, they converted the prop into the amendment in the constitutions. That's the Western style. But like in Cambodia, people don't know any the new degree that they set up to monitor the NIG at all. They're supposed to allow the people vote for it before turn into amendments in the constitution.
They do let us know that they're proposing it last July. They just let the citizen voice their opinion. I mean, citizen voice their opinion, but they don't listen to it. They're like, here's what we're gonna do. Now I'm signing to let them do it. Next year we're gonna finish, and that's about it. So that's how dictatorship, that's how the regime works. Even though we have human rights group, we have many organizations now. This week alone, we have over 60 organizations that come out and like telling the regime, please do not go through with this, because that's going to be violating Cambodian privacy, violating, it's not good for business, it's not good for individual, but they don't listen. So that is the end answer. It's coming. It's going to be done next week, and every information, the information coming out of Cambodia, it's not that much, but it's coming, the information that going into Cambodia. Cambodia does not have basically a true democracy, meaning there's no, like Kathy said, that's only one voice. Like Mr. Sonthara said, it's only one voice. That is Hun Sen's voice, Hun Sen party, meaning the CPP party, where like everything is so beautiful, everything is development. And at that time, like, thank you, peace. But there's a lot of people that get arrested every week just for making comment on Facebook. There's people that still going to jail. There's people that's still in jail right now since 2019 for supporting Mr. Sam Rainsy. And that is not, and that just based on going online, supporting his return, going online, making comment. So for people do make comment. People said, NIG is not good for the company, but for the country, but they still going forward with it because that's how they control.
They go beyond the bottom line now.
Yes. Do you I'm saying so much about why this system is so bad, because I know Mr. Sonthara, and I'm also in like the tax industry, where we know any censorship is really we in America, or you in Canada, Kathy, we don't like government to censor us. Period.
Mm-hmm.
May I add something? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like, how like Hun Sen and the government's controlling? It just reminds me of like the Soviet Union way back in the 1950s, I think. The Soviet Union, and like they would have this thing called Big Brothers watching you, and that's like just the government monetizing you, watching your every move, having cameras set up in every single corner. So it just reminded me of how it's going to come into a dictatorship, coming to a communism if Big Brother is watching you, the government is watching you.
Thank you, Kathy. Now I'm going to ask the tough question. Mr. Sonthara can start. How can Cambodian inside the country express their feeling that this is not something that they want? How can they do it?
Since they both control the internet and control in individuals in Cambodia, how can the people express their own opinion? How can their voice their voice be heard? Nothing. All you do, go and vote for them. And plus, remember, I know the guy who representative of a CCP in Long Beach. Right now, he's appeared in Cambodia to create a new party, but they still support the government. How can they show the people that they opposition? No, the fake opposition.
That's correct. So we talk about so much bad stuff. Kathy, do you see any good stuff in this ing?
No, honestly, I don't see any good of it at all. It's just because the government's controlling your every move. They're invading your privacy. They're oh my gosh, they're demonetizing, your internet use, your freedom on, social media, the platform where you get all the truth, like all the real facts of what's actually happening, instead of all these fake ones that Hun Sen's probably going to put out, and it's not going to be true at all, and half of them isn't even true.
None true. now, Mr. Sonthara, do you see any good at all in this?
Let me learn how to lie as the government lie to the people. Since we can control every part of NIG, we can collect all the tax, right? Everything. But look at this. When you buy something or you import something like the car into the country, the rate, the tax rate, 120%. So what if you buy like a car, like 8,000, the car become 16,000, and you got to sell back maybe 20. You see, and you see that a lot of people, maybe the government, by the figure, you might think, oh, government or can collect a lot of money from the tax, a lot of it. But recently, the government have no money to buy the vaccine at all. They try to collect the money from the rich people and from the government officials and from the people. See, that shows us they have no physical years measurement at all. They lie every part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Sonthara. I've been reading. I've been going online, and I was doing this for the TV today, and I'm not clear what's the benefit of it. Other than giving Hun Sen regime more control over the internet traffic, which many people, not just me and not just Kathy and not just Mr. Sonthara, feel that it's not positive at all. Basically, infringe on citizen privacy. Cambodia has also increased in the internet usage. That means that's also show that TV is no longer, the CPP TV is no longer good. They turn into Facebook, and they turning into basically the news and the media outside the country for that. And when next year, when this get in act, next year when it's running, the NIG is running, the flow of informations that going inside the country will be cut off. That's one of the reason why I'm against it. I know Kathy against it and Mr. Sonthara, and I know there's a lot of people against this setup. So, and it's nothing good at all. I don't see anything good. And Kathy said it, and Mr. Sonthara said it. There's nothing good at all. So, Mr. Sonthara, would you like to add anything to this our topic today?
Yeah, let me see. I read some other kind of articles. You know what? The last word here. They, you know, recently the government passed the new sub-degree on the China style national gateway, and they require the internet service provider to make their own user to complete the online form with the correct or with the real identities. So what happened when they fill the wrong identity? They're gonna kick out from the network, or the license of the internet service provider suspend, or they frozen the account bank. See, no more privacy for the individuals or for the business people, and no fair competition like in the free trade. The government have no right to, get into the individuals at all. That I want that as I need to add on my my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Sonthara. Kathy, would you like to add on anything to our conversations? And we are at the basically at the end of our conversation regarding NIG.
I wish NIG could be a good thing if two parties were in it together, working together as a team instead of just one party. But other than that, I have nothing to add, since the NIG to me is not worth it. It's not good at all.
Well, thank you both guests for being here today. Thank you, Kathy, and thank you, Mr. Sonthara, for being here today. Let me see, I hear echoing. Thank you for taking the time to speak about Hun Sen regime and regarding controlling and abusive and basically no concern for his people, for Cambodian people. Example like NIG is going to be controlling, not just you can no longer voice your opinion on Facebook. It's also gonna cut off the flow of information to the country. And we all hope the youth inside and outside of Cambodia will want to get involved and help to shape the country. Thank you, Kathy, for being here, and thank you, Mr. Sonthara for being here, for speaking what the truth is. Once again, thank you very much for tonight, and Jumrip Lia, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining our show today. I am Linda Wu, and please let me know what topic you would like to talk about or you want me to bring up or research on. And I am grateful that you are here watching our show today. Please don't forget to help and sign and support our petitions, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. I'm going to also play the same video clip that I played earlier. Please help to support our petitions. Thank you and see you next week.
តើយុត្តិធម៌ឬនីតិរដ្ឋភាព
Between 1975 and 1979, the green rice fields of Cambodia became the killing fields of Cambodia. Over 2 million lives were lost, including the lives of my own parents and many of my relatives. The Khmer Rouge wanted a society that is equal according to them. We still live and we are haunted with the legacy of the Khmer Rouge, which is the culture of impunity that continues to exist in Cambodia today. It is for this reason that we have started a campaign, worldwide campaign, a campaign to end impunity in Cambodia by seeking justice for cases for the executions, for the killings that are organized, that are backed by the state. Among those cases of state-backed killings are the killings of Chivichir, a very famous trade union leader, Bisep Pilaka, a ballet dancer, of Kemley, an independent analyst, of Chutvuti, a well-known environmentalist, of Venerable Sonthara, who was advocating for the monks to have the right to vote, including workers who demanded fair wages. The campaign will also advocate for governments that are members of the United Nations to put pressure on the government of Cambodia to conduct independent investigations by using universal tools such as the UN Protocol for Independent Investigation. The campaign will also advocate for governments that believe and want to protect universal human rights to impose sanctions on the leaders of the government of Cambodia who are implicated in these state-backed extrajudicial killings. We ask you to be with us, to support us, to be part of a campaign to end the culture of impunity in Cambodia and to find justice for those who have been waiting for justice for their loved ones killed by the state. There cannot be real peace unless there is justice. There cannot be justice unless there is independent investigation. And then take those cases to an independent justice system. Join us by signing on this petition. Thank you.
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា